Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Bhagya. I am a medical graduate currently taking my gap year for my NEET PG preparation. So, this is that part of the time, that part of the month where we are gonna end February and start a new journey with March. And this time I wanted it to be a little bit of chatty and I wanted to share my thoughts while I was making this journal spread. So, without further ado, let's get started. It became a customary for me to make a reflections page before starting my next month. So the first page which I'm gonna do in this video is the February reflections or the recap February, and to keep it with the actual theme of February, which was just some leaves and some tiny black flowers, I just added that there. My March is gonna be really tough. Not as much as April, but also not less than that too. It's the month I should step up my preparation, increase my timings, improve my scores. It's a lot of pressure. And from my past experience, I decided that with all the hustle, I shouldn't forget about myself, about my mental health. So this month, the theme is gonna be that it's about me, about my mental health, about my self care. Before going into the actual math setup, let me ask you a question. What comes into your mind when you think of peace, calm, staying healthy? When I sat down to write what I want to communicate with you through this spread, through this month, when I sat down to actually think about it, the only thing that popped up in my mind are small daisies and those two in yellows. So, yellow is something, the color of yellow is something which just makes me feel happy, which just reminds me that I have to be happy, which reminds me to be calm, to it just raises up my mind. I don't know why is there a science behind it? I don't know yet. I never tried to google it or never tried to find it out, but that's one color which actually makes me really, which actually uplifts my mind and my mood. So the theme for this month is gonna be the yellow daisies. So I'm gonna start by making the cover page for the month. As usual, it's gonna be a minimal spread but a little bit of color. As I said, the yellow. So I want my journal to reflect my mind, and in most times it's actually influences my state of mind. Like if I'm in chaos with a lot of thoughts in my head, the ordered journal with all my lists and tasks come to the rescue. It makes me feel more organized. The minimalism is, I try not to entirely be pure with minimalism. I want it to be simple but also have a little bit of color, unlike the monochrome one. I tried the monochrome on February and I wouldn't say that it's bad for me, but I like to have that pop of color in my spreads. It signifies my mind and how I want to be in my life. So I made a few flowers and added a little bit of yellow. I'm using my Artline watercolor brush pen and my Dom's sketch pen to use it. I'm gonna use really the basic products here. So the pen I'm using is just of 10 bucks, which you get anywhere in the out there in your stationery shops. It's the Rorito Flymax, and then I'm using the Tom sketch pen, which again you can find it anywhere. And Artline is also the pretty much available in every stationery store here in India. So I'm just using the minimal spreads and and minimal stationery to actually make it more available. I want journaling to be available and to be of use to every single person out there, and not to be a mere um, Instagram worthy high five stationery products to use. So this spread is specifically based on your mental health, on my mental health, and I want this to be available to everyone, and everyone can make use of it. So I added the title of the month in the center and added a few daisies around it, and also I usually make the calendar down below so that I can actually go through it whenever I want to. Sometimes I don't feel like using my mobile phone or just my laptop to see the calendar days, and sometimes I just forget what day it is. and or what date it is. So this really comes in handy sometimes.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Turn this room, turn it to an ocean. Let me float around. Eyes closed, like we're dreaming even when we're not. You and me got a whole other meaning, I don't know how. You and me just know how it feels when we're falling in love. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. We can do nothing at all. So what?
And I'm just vaguely outlining the daisies so that they just look more put together. And I have been actually listening to this audiobook this month in February. This month means February and not March. If you, it's just quite normal that you can understand that. So I've been reading this book in my Audible, which is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, and I think it's in the first chapter of the book and really liked it. So I added that small quote in the below down saying that anybody can look at you, but it's tough to see the world you see. The next page is the overview of the whole month. If you have seen my February plan with me, I have a 2-page setup. I'm gonna do the same here and add up a small boxes, one for the focus of the month and another for things which I usually want to get carried forward from February. There are a lot of things. It's not really not an easy task to actually do all the things we plan every day, all the time. There will be days when you cannot just sit down and study, and there will be times when you don't want to study. And February has been a little bit of tough for me because there were days when I couldn't actually sit down. I was physically being tired frequently in Feb, and also I wasn't feeling really well physically, and I think I was more tired and more down physically than mentally in my February. But still, though it be that or this, it's just I cannot do some of the tasks, and I still have a lot of review things to do in the February which I couldn't, so I have to bring those 10 down to March and do it. And I really want to remember that because sometimes I don't actually remember them and they just go away and I just forget, and I just remember just before the time when I have to do. And I really didn't want to do that, and I frequently check my journal frequently every single day, every single morning, evening or night. So I just wanted to carry that forward and make that small space. So here, unlike February, March isn't a specific a big perfect month, so I just made small boxes and added 2 more boxes, one at the left corner and one at the down, one for the things I want to do in March, that is the priority of the month, and also the things which I have to carry on forward. And to keep up with the theme, which are the yellow daisies, I just added some of them randomly all through the page. Thinking about these things which I haven't done in this specific month or in specific week, the past me would have been freaked out for not doing them and would think about all the backlogs I have and would have an anxiety attack. But the present me have come to the terms with it and learned to move forward to think of a solution rather than just crying over the problem. And then I added another small quote here. I think this month I have added a lot of quotes with every single spread I made. So here I made this quote, which is make every day a little less ordinary. And I think it really goes with what I want to do in March. It has to be a perfect specific month where I should actually push myself, do all the things which I can do before my NEET PG, which is on April 18th. So I just wanted that constant reminder for me. Then I added the days of the month on the top of the box and just added a few more, like, to make the March month more pop up. So I just added some more for calligraphy stuff there, and I might fill up later in the week by the end, like on Feb 28th or 27th, with all the things which I want to plan. So specifically for the plan is I would complete my first revision by the end of March 10th. So I'm planning on to do the second rapid revision from 10th to March 31st before April 1 to 18, where I'm gonna do another revision. So I just have to plan out how to do, what changes I have to do. So that's a big thing to do. This week is gonna be really busy for me. Again, not anything special. It's always busy for me. However, I think I have a lot of time to do. It's always busy. This next spread is something which I have made myself get used to over the past 2 months, and this is the third month. I'm really proud of myself that I'm doing this in the third month, because if I look back myself for the past 2 years, I never thought that I might be really good with keeping up with my habits and actually logging them down. My February was awesome because I have logged them everything, and even though I wasn't perfectly doing them, there were days where I wouldn't or I couldn't do it, but still I have locked them down and I have seen that there are changes in me. So this particular spread is gonna be about the habits which I'm planning on inculcating for myself, about the sleep tracker and about the mood tracker. So the mood and sleep trackers, I think the mood tracker is really important for me because of the anxiety attacks I have had in the past. So looking back at my February spread, I realized that I just had like 3 of those days where I had those anxiety kind of thing, and I was pretty much happy for the whole of February, maybe because I was so into the tiredness thing, or maybe because of what, I don't know, but I was pretty much good. And by the time this is gonna be up, this video, I think we already had the registration for the NEET up, and there were pretty much changes in the actual exam from the previous exam, and surprisingly it didn't hit me too hard. I wasn't like being too much anxious. If I was like 5 months back or 3 months back, I would have been anxious. I would have been like totally gone mad. I don't know why. Maybe because I was sitting in front of a lot of people and doing my stream, or because I was calm. I couldn't find out. I couldn't tell myself that I was really calm. But yeah, I think I have changed a little bit with that. And the habits are pretty much same for the last 2 months. I don't want to change anything big for the next 2 months because I just want to be in this flow. And the sleep trackers are something from 6 hours to 9 hours. The maximum time of sleep I get every single day is a minimum of 6 to a maximum of 7, and not more than that. I have restricted myself with that. And also with the stream, I usually wake up by 6 o'clock. That has to be if I have to start by 7 o'clock. So that's actually, I think that's have become an external force to actually make me wake up, and I'm now accustomed that even though if my alarm goes off, sometimes I just wake up by 6:15. So that's a good thing, right? And to keep up with the actual theme, I added some more flowers. And the mood is actually what all the mood thing which I add up in my tracker is. I have the anxiety tracker, I have my irritability tracker, because sometimes I become so irritable. It's not anxious, but I just become irritable without any reason. So I wanted to track that out and see why that's happening. And I have my happy, sad, or just a normal kind of thing. Usually my February was almost like 70% was normal. I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad, I wasn't anxious. It's just a normal single day. And I think it's more better to have a normal day than to have an overly happy, an overly sad, or an overly expression day. So I'm more towards the normal a normal day. I'm more towards the normal day. And well, that's the spread, and this has become my favorite spread. So this is my favorite spread for the whole March setup, and I just want to see how this turns out. The next one is a new add-on to my journal. I actually tried of doing the gratitude journal earlier, but I couldn't keep up with it. But with seeing my March, I really want to be careful with myself. So I wanted to have that constant reminder in me every single night when I go to sleep that yes, I did something better, I did something good, and I was not totally useless or totally did nothing. And I don't want to get anxious about it, and I want to make myself remember it. So this spread is specifically that things that were happening today for which I'm grateful for. In short, good things that were happening today. So it's just a single line statement which I would make every single day, for which I'm grateful for, or just which I'm feeling proud of. Like if I have did what I wanted to do for today, or if I have completed all my to-do list, that's a great achievement, isn't it? The small achievements, small successes just keep on adding to bring that big goal to meet your big goal. Okay, I'm just out of words now, but so that's what I wanted to tell myself every single day. I want to remember myself. I don't know if I might keep it every day, but I just want to like not even today, but if I couldn't do it today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow, someday I might, the day when I feel I'm so lost, maybe that day I can come back here and just go through whatever I have did every single day and feel that actually I'm not useless. Actually, I didn't do anything. I did a lot, and not just and and I didn't not feel like I didn't do anything in March. And I want this to be a backbone, or a thing on which I could fall back on during my April, because I know that's gonna be really, 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 really tough for me. So yeah, that's the spread I wanted this to be. That's I wanted this spread to be that kind of spread for me. And I added another small quote down here saying, feel what you need to feel and then let it go. Do not let it consume you. And I don't think I have to like explain what it means, because it just explains itself. So the next page is for my TBR list, and I realized that even though I make TBRs, I just become some kind of a mood reader or something, because I don't know, I never thought that I might be reading 3 or 4 books at a time, but right now I'm reading 3 books. I'm reading Turtles All the Way Down, I'm reading The Diary of the Young Girl, and also I'm reading With the Picture of Dorian Gray. So that's 3 books in a row, which I never did, which I never even thought that I might be doing. But still, I wanted to have a specific TBR, so that whenever I feel like I don't know what to read, maybe I can look back into this and get a reading. And books have actually changed a lot in me, the perception and how and helped really to get through all my issues. And so do let me know if you want to know anything about how books have helped me, or about how I came out, or at least trying to come back out of my anxiety issues, do comment down below and I'll try to make a video about it. And also I realized in February that I had a lot of thoughts in my head and I couldn't actually put them down, not like just like in my about my feelings, but something about the ideas about Instagram, or ideas about something that I want to try out, something new. I wanted to try out some coasters, to make coasters or to make candles, and I just couldn't find a place to drop that down. So I made this small brain dump page in the below so that I can actually come back and write it down here, so that doesn't get lost, because I have been writing down in random papers and now I cannot find any one of them, and I really want to see what I have written when I had those thoughts. So I just added this, and on the next page, since I didn't have anything else to add and I don't want to start my weekly spread from there, so I continued this, and I didn't know what to name it, so I just named it anything. So they can be anything, just random thoughts, random talking, random scolding myself, or anything, or just some random recommendation of a movie or a show or a podcast. I don't know. So I just wanted to have that as another page. So that's what I made in the next page. And also, just beside the books, the TBR part, I added another quote which is pretty famous, or just it just I just took that from my Google, and it says that a house without books is a body without soul. And I really support the quote. Again, sorry for me for not getting my words out, sometimes not all the time, it just happens. So I sometimes I feel that why haven't I intro- why haven't I been introduced to the books? Because I've been reading only for an year and I have almost read like 40 of them, and I feel like I have a lot of books to read, and I really feel bad that I haven't been reading since childhood. Maybe if I was reading since childhood, I would have read like tons of books. Of course, I have been reading, I have been studying academically, but I wanted to read for myself, to know what is happening all over the world. And I should say, not only just the newspapers or TV shows or anything that shows, even the books have a lot of information that you want to know about today's world, and they have a deeper meaning, and they let you to bring out the thoughts in yourself. Because whatever I'm talking today, I never thought that I might be talking all of this even without any script. Of course, I wrote my script, I wanted to talk something else, but now what I'm talking, it just is coming out of me. And I never thought that I might be doing this. I never thought that I might be doing this in English, because I don't know, I never had that, what do we say? I never had that exposure to actually talk more in English in any of my periods, like in any of my classes which I have took, even in my undergrad, even in my school. I never had that, and I was never a open person to, like an extrovert kind of person to just stand up and talk in front of people. I never did that, but now I'm doing this. Maybe it's all because of the books, you see. So coming to that, the next spread and the last one is obviously the weekly spread. So I have been I tried a lot of spreads, a lot of weekly spreads, which are a ton of types, and I believe that this is the best one which goes for me, because I have a lot of to do things to do. I have my personal things, I have my academic things to do, and I study a lot, so I have to do the time blocking. And actually the vertical rows really help in time blocking instead of the horizontal rows. I tried the horizontal ones in Feb and it was a total flop, so I just made the vertical rows back again. I did that in January, and then I did it again. And when I was just making up the blueprint, I counted 8 boxes. So that's why I have been like, I added a weekly reflections part separately, but then those were 7 boxes. I added some dices in middles and then added the weekly days in that, and made a weekly reflections part in the down. And this weekly reflections part is again a new add-on for my 2021 journal, and it's so far really good. Like, you don't have to just remember the whole month, you just have to remember what happened in the whole week and write it down. What was the Either what was the big thing that happened, or what was the important thing that you want to yourself to remind yourself at the end of the week. And it's really good. And also another down, I had the priorities for the week. So I have usually a GT which I plan, or something, anything which is the biggest priority for the week to write down. And I also made a quote saying things will work out. Again, another small reminder to make me feel better in my days when it's hard to think that what if I can't do it. So the journal is mainly to make you remind that you are not alone and you can do it no matter what.
Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you
So do let me know what your favorite spread is among them in the comment section below. I would love to know. And also anything that you want to add, or what is your major thing that you want to do in March. Do like, share, subscribe, and thank you for joining me, guys. Have a happy weekend and a wonderful Feb, and I wish you a great, good March.
want.